You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 13th meeting of the Michigan City Police Civil Service Commission. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Commissioner Cross.
Here.
Commissioner Simmons is not present. Commissioner Maskey is here. I got it right here.
I know, just print it. You can just scan it and send it to me.
Oh, we're married.
Just you got it here.
All right, before we get to everything, we'll do the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll make a motion we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Under old business, we have applicants in process. We currently have, well, we submitted 7 to PERF, but one of the applicants decided to take a job with another agency, so we have 6 down there right now. One of those applicants has gotten their results back. They've passed the physical and psychological exam for PERF, so they'll go to the local pension board for approval. We're still waiting on the other 5. We currently have 5 applicants in the background stage. We've got one of those backgrounds submitted to us, so we have 4 pending, and I think it's going on about what, week 6 for that, 5 or 6. So we should have the other one soon. And then with a pending retirement, I believe in January, February coming up, will be 2 down if everybody passes through of the 6 that we have there now. Correct? If you're at 76, that would put you at 82.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And so hopefully with the 5 that are in background now, if all goes well, we'll start to have a hiring list. We'll go from there. We also have 1 lateral transfer. I believe Bruce gave Chief Cooney direction to begin the abbreviated background on that applicant. So
I don't know if I assume you got the email I sent.
Yeah, it's already signed out.
Okay. I don't know if you needed that, his application or not.
No, I just printed it for your records.
Okay.
I forwarded it on to the person doing the background.
Okay.
So I guess next we'll move on to probationary officer reports. That'd be Corporal Costigan.
Probationary officer reports for December. We got the officers Christopher Bartek and Officer Gary Francisco all successfully passed through phase 4 of their field training, and will be attending the Northwest Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in January. And the next group here, we got officers CJ Fusco, Jackson Hayes, and Ryan Kuntz. They all made it through phase 2 FTO and just started phase 3 FTO. And then they will be in phase 3 until they will also be attending NILEA in January. Laterals, we got here Officer Miller and Wells, also doing well as Officer Milton Smith. And then the last group that I have right now in DPS, Officers Antonio Carey and Officer Richard Sturck will be finishing up with me this week, and they'll be starting FTO Monday. I think one starts Monday, one starts Wednesday next week. And then Officers Alexander Henry and Michael Schubel will be going down to ILEA for their physical entrance exam on Monday. And then hopefully they pass that, and we'll be starting beginning of January at ILEA. And then Officers Thomas Dolph and Officer Cassie Kugela, they will be going to NILEA to do their physical entrance exam at the beginning of January, and hopefully starting shortly after in NILEA. That is all.
So don't think we have anything under new business, no correspondence or claims to pay, so I'll pass it to Chief Forker.
Yeah, again, thank you. Real quick, I'd like to just read off a couple of, one letter of commendation for a couple officers, Officer Douglas Abraham, Officer Maximilian Hernandez. I'll step up here and read it off. Just ask them to come up and again, just acknowledge another job well done on their part. Officers Douglas Abraham and Officers Maximiliano Hernandez was on the 19th of October 2023. The subject of this letter of commendation for outstanding service as follows. On the 19th of October 2023, approximately 14:44 hours, Shift 2 officers were dispatched to the area of 801 Franklin Street in the alleyway for a stabbing that had just occurred. Officers Abraham and Hernandez, along with Shift 2 supervisors, arrived on scene. They learned that the victim was stabbed in the back. As treatment was being provided at the local hospital, the victim provided a statement of what the suspect looked like and what he was wearing. However, he was unable to provide a name. Officer Abraham spoke with witnesses to the stabbing. One witness did not know the name of the suspect, however, he was able to describe him in detail. Described the subject as an older white male wearing a worn tan jacket, black Harley boots with orange soles. He also advised that the suspect was carrying a brown leather bag. Another witness advised that he did not know the suspect, however, stated that he wanted a bottle of vodka. The victim indicated that he was trying to get a bottle of vodka that he couldn't have. The witness stated that when the suspect stabbed him, provided the name of Michael Lowry. The witness, Michael Lowry, provided the name of Jeffrey Kirkland as the suspect. Mr. Lowry indicated that he had just left Keep the Hope and that he was leaving as the suspect entered. Officer Abraham provided that information to other officers. Paul Bass, Officer Hernandez arrived at Keys to Hope, where they were able to locate the suspect taking a shower. Upon exit of the shower, he was taken into custody in the bathrooms. The suspect's belongings were discovered in a brown leather bag described by the witness. Belonging to the suspect was seized by Officer Hernandez. Officer Abraham realizing that there was still work to be done, canvassed the area of the stabbing, looking for video footage and other evidence. In doing so, he discovered a tan-colored Carhartt jacket the suspect had worn during the stabbing, which was discarded on the roadway in front of 815 Franklin Street. He collected the jacket and logged as evidence. Officer Abraham also observed exterior cameras in the 800 block of Franklin Street. He viewed the footage and discovered that the suspect walked east on the alley towards Franklin Street after the stabbing. The suspect was carrying a brown leather bag and was wearing a tan jacket, the same jacket that Officer Abraham collected that was discarded from the street. When we reached the sidewalk in front of 815 Franklin Street, he stopped, took off the jacket and left it on the sidewalk. He then put on a black jacket and began walking south on Franklin Street until out of the camera's view. In addition to logging the suspect's evidence seized and located at Keys to Hope, Officer Hernandez assisted the on-call detective, Sergeant Sofer, in interviewing. After interview, Officer Hernandez, realizing that there's still more work to be done, created a photo lineup to show the witnesses and collected additional footage from the businesses along the path the suspect walked. While in the commander's office, Detective Sofer called Shift 2 Commander Captain Ashley. Detective Sofer called to see if she had heard the radio communication correctly and asked if shift officers had located the suspect. Captain Ashley advised Detective Sofer appeared astonished at how quickly Shift 2 had investigated the stabbing and how quickly the suspect was taken into custody. Jeffrey Kirkland was arrested for aggravated battery level 3 felony and possession of alleged drug level 6 as a result of this incident. Officers Douglas Abraham and Officer Maximiliano Hernandez, your actions during this event were recognized by the command staff and keeping with the highest standards of the Michigan City Police Department. It would be a great pleasure to present your letters of commendation. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Great job as always. you, sir. I'll say a couple of familiar faces here, right? Over the last year, we've seen these two gentlemen up here a few times receiving letters of commendation. Again, we just always applaud you for your fine excellence, commitment and dedication to not only to the police department, but to the citizens of this city. Again, just like the captain indicated, just to find police work, getting things and solving things in a timely manner. So again, thank you. Appreciate your guys' efforts along with the rest of the shift. Definitely a team effort, and congratulations and thank you. Get forward here. Perfect. Again, thank you, Chief. Congratulations. Nice job. Keep it up. Appreciate your time coming. Thanks. Report comments. I'm allowed around here. Might as well we'll call up Steve Weagle here real quick. See you as well, sir. You too. Take care. Do you want to talk? I'm sorry. Just want to take the opportunity to recognize K-9 Officer Steve Weagle. Friday, December 15th. He will reach a milestone of 15 years with the Michigan City Police Department. Obviously, dedicated service here. Over those last 15 years, serving as a SWAT team member, a K-9 handler, field training officer, worn a few different hats here amongst his career. Again, currently serving on the midnight shift with K-9 Lucky. So again, we just want to take the opportunity to congratulate you earning your 15-year pin. And then looking forward to the next, next at least 5 years, right?
It's going to be more than that. Yeah. 15, right?
Yeah.
Another 15.
He's too far along to retire now. More vacation days coming.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Steve.
Just to add to that as well, on December 1st, Officer Mark Raymond hit the 20-year milestone, which obviously us in law enforcement know that's a significant mark where we're invested right in our pension. So we want to just congratulate him on that. We were able to present him with this pin on December 1st, so just wanted to recognize that. Well, again, Mark has served many capacities within the department, SWAT, SCUBA, FTO, firearms instructor. Again, a kind of a jack of all trades, a wealth of knowledge. So again, we're happy to congratulate him on his 20 years of service as well. So let's see, what else does the chief have? I probably don't have any notes. I forgot. I grabbed these and I forgot to grab anything else. Again, I'll just obviously thank the commission for their efforts again this year in the recruiting end of things and doing the multiple applicant testings. As you indicated, right, there's hopefully a list in sight, right, a high-end list. If all of these applicants, pass the background investigation and physical and psychological. So again, it's exciting for us, right, because we haven't been there in probably over 5 years, I think, to a point where we've been fully staffed. So I know we're excited. We still have, it's a continuing education going on here, throughout the department. So we foresee that being a priority here for the next several years. Just again, continuing to train our young staff and our young police officers. So, but as we indicated, there are a few lateral transfers in there that help, just bring some of that experience as well as, from other agencies. So that helps balance some of that experience. So again, we're excited, obviously, for 2024. I'll say it, congratulate Chief Corley on his appointment to the Chief of Police. Him and I will be switching roles. So again, I appreciate him and having the confidence in me to continue to serve. I think it's been a great team effort over the last year, just moving the department forward, addressing some of the manpower issues that we've had, some of the other things along the way. But again, we foresee that we have a pretty strong team. I think we all complement each other pretty well in our experience and leadership abilities. So we're excited to move into 2024, and again, under the helm of Chief Corley. So again, we're excited for that. I just want to say thank you to him and congratulations. So But with that, I'll say I'll apologize because I'm going to have to cut out. Because another meeting coming up here at noon, so I'll probably cut out here in a few minutes if we're not done. So, anything else?
I'd just like to start off by saying thank you to Chief Forker for the last year. Again, like he thanked me, I want to thank him for allowing me to stay in my role and to continue to grow in his profession and his leadership role. So I think, if it wasn't some of the things that he's instilled while he's been in leadership, it's allowed me to, make this next transition. And also thank him and Chief Cooney for continuing to stay on and work with me in 2024 to continue with Department 4. Said under Chief Forker's time, we've actually accomplished a lot. The department brought us to a position now where I think I won't say we're not comfortable, but we're comfortable, not too comfortable. I think, there's so much more we can do because of where Chief Forker has led us. So again, thank you to Chief Forker for his leadership as the Chief of Police here. I'd like to thank, first start off by just thanking our officers. These last couple of months has been a time of giving for us. I think one of the things that we've done here this last year, outside of just our recruitment and other things, is our community outreach. And so we've had Shop with Our Cops. We'd like to give a shout out to NIPSCO for, again, being a key sponsor of that event. And then a shout out to some of our other sponsors, Utility Incorporated and Flock Safety, who also had representatives come up and actually got from Flock, actually did some shopping with the people. So thank you for that. Thank you for officers who helped with the Michigan City Holiday Meals event for Thanksgiving. Over 300 meals were delivered by police officers here during that time. Also, also our officers donated out of their own pockets over 25 gifts to the Salvation Army for the Angel Tree. Every year, the Salvation Army brings an angel tree here for us, and officers take the time out to pick out tags and get gifts for those in need. So those gifts will be given out here at Salvation Army next week during their toy shopping, how they give out for our officers. So just thank all the officers for that. We do have again our new 2023 Dodge Wranglers are all out. As the community will get to see, our fleet is getting a new look here. We still have a couple more vehicles, including to get replaced, but we will get there. Make sure our men and women have the best equipment possible so they can serve the best for this community. Also, I should do notes like you. I have them right here, but then I'll write them down. Vehicles.
I'm sure Chief Cooney has it.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I totally lost it. It's right there too. But yeah, so just happy holidays, everybody. This is last commission meeting of the year. So look forward to seeing everybody back 2024. Start the year off great.
Just a couple things. I'd also like to thank Chief Forker for the opportunity to be Chief of Services this year, and then continue with Chief Corley going into 2024. It's been a learning experience. I think the three of us again work well together, and then I look forward to that continued collaboration. Going back to recruitment, we're looking at hiring 19 people within this year. It's probably the most ever, which takes a lot of work between the commission and PERF and us and all the background investigations that have been completed by the patrol division. We can't thank them enough for taking the time to do that. That's all done kind of outside of their normal shift work, so we appreciate everything that they're doing. I have been in contact with 2 laterals. Again, we began the background on one. We have another one potentially from IMPD down in Indianapolis. He comes with 6 years experience, hoping that we can process him along as well here in the future. With new changes for next year, I want to take the time to thank Lieutenant Anna Painter. She's dedicated a lot of years to the Detective Bureau, and with some movement that we had, she's going to be assigned to the Uniform Shift 3 as the commander for 2024. She has received at least half a dozen letters of commendation for her work in the Detective Bureau. I just want to thank her for her dedication. I think it's going to be great for the shift for next year to have her experience as we go with such a young department, being able to handle a lot of these major crime scenes that happen between afternoons, midnights, and even days too. But having that experience is going to be beneficial for our young department. I wanted to thank, through the Unity Foundation, the Blue Chip Casino donated $10,000 to our K-9 division. This was due to Officer Weagle's K-9 Axel had to be retired early. And with their donation, we were able to replace it at a very quick rate. We now have Officer K-9 Lucky with us, which has been fantastic. And without that donation, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So we want to thank them as well. Other than that, hope everyone has a good Christmas and New Year's.
I'd like to say congratulations to Officer Abraham and Hernandez on their letters. It was a great job. I think the unsung hero in a lot of the meetings is this gentleman. We've hired a lot of people last year, and every single one of them had to go through his office, and he was responsible and is responsible for all the officers, all the new officers. And I know it's been a burden, but I'd like to say thank you, because you've done a great job. As everybody heard, that these are newer officers back here that were honored today, and everything that they knew how to do came from somebody here teaching that. That's not something that the average person just knows, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. They were trained correctly from the first day they got here until the day they got a set of keys and started riding by themselves. And so everybody involved in that should be congratulated as well, because the training division here is above standard, in my opinion. Next thing I'd like to address is the transition at the beginning of the year between chief and assistant chief. But I'll be honest with you, no one person in this department has ever made a directive or a rule or a decision without input from the other administrators here. And so I think the direction of the department isn't credited towards one person, it's credited towards a team of people here. And it doesn't matter who's chief, assistant chief of services, or assistant chief of operations, as long as these three are involved in that role. I feel very confident that this department's on to bigger and better things, because they work well together and they make the right decisions, in my opinion. Some may differ, but I don't care, because I know. And so congratulations, Chief Corley, and we still look forward to seeing you and you being involved, Chief Forker. Congratulations, Officer Weagle. Great job. I remember when you were hired. Was that 3 years ago now? Next year I'll probably forget about you, but this year, congratulations. Okay, Bruce.
Yeah, just to echo what's been said, congratulations to the officers you recognized today for the job performance and job longevity, Steve. I'm sure you'll be here at least 30. I know you got a little one at all, a couple little ones at home, you'll be here longer. And congratulations to the administration for what they've done when they've been in office. They've done a great job. They thank us, but in reality, we don't really do much. We shuffle paperwork, give it to them, and they go with the ball. And for a sports analogy, which I'll just stick with, the young men and women, and I'll use that term, men and women, do a great job on this department. I hope the community recognizes that. I think the city council has finally come around and recognized it takes great personnel to have a great department, whether it be police, fire, whatever. the administration, the workers, support staff do a great job, and they deserve all the accolades they receive, and they should get more, but it's the best we can do for now. For me personally, it's always good to see the young folks, and even though they're veterans, they're still young to me. Training, you do a great job. As Scott said, I don't think there's too many training departments in the state that do as well a job preparing their officers for first the academy, and then once getting through the academy, performing on the street, which is where it really counts. And finally, I'd like to recognize retired Officer Pisker, who passed away earlier this month. And both Scott and I don't know if you gentlemen worked with Tony, I don't think so, but we worked with Tony a lot of years, and hopefully he's in a better place now, but so his family and him, I always enjoyed working with Tony. If there was anybody more even keel than Tony Pisker, I've never met him. He never got excited. Well, usually when it was a big, he'd be on the radio smoking his cigar when he could smoke in the radio room. Say, we'll get to it, everything's fine. It was that's usually what happened. We got to it and everything was just fine. And just from an old guy, hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, because that's my terminology for my generation. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hopefully we'll get that hiring list, which I don't know, I can't remember when they put a hiring list. I don't even think when I came on they had a hiring list, and that was when we won't talk about that. But, yeah, but thanks again, and I'm glad, one final thought, not that she cares, but the mayor-elect, in her wisdom, kept this team together, and we'll go into next year and future years, and I'm sure she'll be happy she did that.
Is there any comments from the public? You're the public.
Well, Scott Allen, 200 Kenwood Place. I really didn't come here with any agenda or anything. This is my first time. Chief Walker's got a taste of me over the last couple of months in Common Council. With 19 new hires on order, I would just ask that we make sure we are checking the discipline, any for lateral transfers, any disciplinary records. We don't want any bad apples coming into our force. I do congratulate our command staff. It seems like we have a very well-run department. I would ask that our officers be mindful of civil rights of the citizens, and particularly Fourth Amendment type things, even the things like Terry stops. I've been watching a lot of videos, and I know they were very fraught for you guys, and I respect that. But they're also perilous for the drivers sometimes. So you guys get to go home at night, but so do we. So let's just be mindful of that. Congratulate Officers Abraham and Hernandez for their good work. And it sure sounds like Officer Abraham is aiming for detective. Sounds like. I spoke about the bonus situation for the new hires, which we're all for. We all recognize that. We understand the hiring process has been delayed. But we did find that 2 recent hires were given granted bonuses and didn't stay with the force, which raises concern. I've written a letter to the Common Council that will be at the next meeting, where I suggested something, instead of making people wait for a probationary period or a time to go by before being given, that those be subject to a clawback provision. Very common in the private sector, that we'll give you a bonus because when you're starting a job or between jobs, that's normally when money is the most useful to people. So it should be granted up front. But the trade-off is, or the balance is, the city, MCPD, requires a commitment of service. I recommended 1 or even 2 years for it to be full invested. And that's a letter to the Common Council. One last item, I know I only have a couple minutes, is the flock cameras. Chief Walker is aware that I'm not a fan of mass surveillance. I know it's a tool for you guys, and I know it's been utilized in several cases. I don't think anybody's been convicted yet. But I would ask several things. I would ask that we review our data retention policy. As I understand it, that's a 30-day policy. That seems unnecessary to me. Some communities have it's either hot or it's dropped. I don't see why we need to hold that data. I don't know, in today's world, it's a lot about data. A lot of things can be done with data. And as I've suggested to several council members, if you think this data is so innocuous, have the chief run a report on your license plate for the last 30 days. Against mapping software and modern data analytics, you can figure a lot out. There's potential for misuse by bad actors. A bad Vallejo, a bad law enforcement officer has a B for is having an affair. He knows when the old man goes to work, and now he can stop by. And I think the citizens deserve on this, since we're having this kind of very widespread surveillance of the flock camera system. And I know you guys are just getting a handle on utilizing the data yourself. It's sort of an overload of over 50,000 alerts a month. During business hours, that's more than two alerts a minute. I would ask that we the department generate monthly, quarterly, and annual reports as to the effectiveness of the system. 57,000 alerts, over 2.2 million pings in a month. That's a lot of overhead for the department to handle. It's a lot of surveillance of the citizens, most of whom are just going about their daily business. Let's see what the effectiveness of the system is. With that amount of data coming in, what is it resulting in? If we're only solving an additional 4 crimes a month, or whatever, I would question the effectiveness of the system. And one final thing, I would be interested in knowing what the cost of the system is, the manual, the maintenance contract, or whatever the subscription model must be. What is the cost of that? And again, I think you guys are doing a great job. I appreciate what the department does. We all really want you when we call 911. And I respect what you do. But we have to balance that with civil rights and kind of the Orwellian 1984 thing. And one final thing, I welcome Chief Corley to his new position as chief. I wish you the best in the upcoming year, all of you. Thank you very much.
So I guess our next meeting will be January the 10th at 11 a.m. right here. And then I think at that meeting we can discuss maybe the next hiring event, whether or not it's needed, if we're going to keep it on the schedule, the tentative schedule that we had it on, if we're going to move it ahead or back, or whatever you guys want to do, whatever you think is best. So just take consideration of that for the next meeting. Hopefully we'll have the rest of the background investigations, the current ones, 4 I believe left, and the results from the perf of the 6 officers that we have currently there. Okay, see everybody next January. Okay.